waiting for its recording started. Welcome to the City of Milpitas Planning Commission meeting, April 26, 2023. Anyone wishing to make a public comment, there are comment cards in the back over there. Anyone that's on Zoom, instructions for making public comment are in the meeting agenda. So call in meeting order, Pledge of Allegiance, Vice Chair Ciardella.
Ladies and gentlemen, our flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Medina.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Albana,
Present.
Commissioner Awasti,
Present.
Chair Chuan,
Present.
Vice Chair Ciardella,
Present.
Commissioner Galong is absent this evening, Commissioner Medina Ashby,
Present.
and Commissioner Mosin.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. Conflict of interest declaration, City Attorney.
Hi, thank you, Chair, and I apologize for not being there in person today. Got some family health issues going on. So thanks for indulging me with the remote appearance. I ask you, Chair, and each of the commissioners, whether he or she has any financial or personal conflicts of interest related to any of the items on tonight's agenda.
Ms. Medina, would you go on roll, please?
Commissioner Albana,
None.
Commissioner Awasti,
None.
Chair Chuan,
None.
Vice Chair Ciardella,
None.
Commissioner Medina Ashby,
None.
Commissioner Mosin. None. Thank you.
I also ask you, Chair, and the members of this commission to please disclose any campaign contributions of $100 or more received within the last 12 months from any of the parties entering into contracts with the city on tonight's agenda, or contributions received from the development project applicant for development projects on tonight's agenda.
Ms. Medina, would you go on roll, please?
Commissioner Albana,
None.
Commissioner Awasti,
None.
Chair Chuan,
None.
Vice Chair Ciardella,
None.
Commissioner Medina Ashby,
None.
Commissioner Mosin. None. Thank you.
Thank you, and let the record reflect there are no reported conflicts.
Thank you, City Attorney. Next item, approval agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the meeting agenda for April 26, 2023?
I make a motion to approve the agenda for, what's the date again? March 22nd, 2023.
All right.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Medina Ashby makes the motion, second by Commissioner Albana. Roll call vote. Commissioner Mosin. Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Aye.
Commissioner Awasti.
Aye.
Commissioner Albana.
Aye.
Vice Chair Ciardella.
Aye.
Chair Chuan is aye. Agenda is approved. Next item, approval of the meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes for March 22nd, 2023?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of March 20.
Commissioner Awasti makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Mosin. Roll call vote. Commissioner Mosin. Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Aye.
Commissioner Awasti.
Aye.
Commissioner Albana.
Aye.
Vice Chair Ciardella.
Aye.
Chair Chuan is aye. Meeting minutes are approved for March 22nd, 2023. Next item, announcements. Do I have any announcements from any of the planning commissioners? Okay, Commissioner, Vice Chair.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody that came to the Milpitas Chamber of Commerce crab feed the other day. It was a great success because of all the people that showed up. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Okay. Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, actually, we'd like to, as I know, both of you, Commissioner Medina Ashby and Commissioner Wasti, you both were able to attend the Planning Commission Academy. So just like like to hear how it went, from both of you. So maybe Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Well, I really enjoyed myself. It was a nice event. It was 3 days and it was in Anaheim. I guess there was a couple of things we always try to bring a take back. One of the things that the city of Rancho Cucamonga does, and I think I would like for us to implement this. The planning commission meets about 5:30. They do it before each meeting twice a month. They'll meet for dinner and not, to talk about city stuff, but just personal, like, how's your family? What are you guys doing? And the city pays for it. So I think that would be nice if we did it once a month to get together and have lunch. Another thing that I really liked about, and I didn't write down the city, but the city has 3 designs for ADU units, and instead of a resident coming to get plans or draw up their own plans, the city has a set of plans, and then we show them, okay, these are 3 options for you. And so they select from there and then just draw or request permits. So it's kind of easy for them. They're not having to spend the extra money for the architects. And what else did I, one of my takeaways? Just kind of do public workshops. I think we need more training because there was a lot that I didn't know. I mean, this is only I'm going on my 2nd year, but there was a lot that I felt I didn't know and that I would like to know about. Get involved with organizations and involvement with other cities. So I think that's something I would like to do.
All right, great. Thank you. Commissioner Wasti.
Yeah, it was a great learning experience. And there was one mandatory training which I had to take, and which was AB 161. And one of the key strategies I just wrote down a few. Planning for the future was something which was very, very informative. It basically told us that you have to start doing things from a different perspective and how to make sure that what the kids of today need for the housing development, how they get into their starter homes. That should be one of your priorities. And then to work as a team and with cooperation with staff who do the heavy lifting. And one of the most important bill which was discussed in one whole session was SB 330, processing housing development application. So SB 330, as we know, has amended the Permit Streamlining Act by imposing new timing requirements in considering housing projects, and amended the Housing Accountability Act by imposing limits on consideration and approval, disapproval on housing projects. And SB 330 also created a new streamlining process by creating a housing application. And we need to be watchful when we are processing these and considering these housing projects, especially under SB 330. A lot of things are already mandated and we have to go with that. And then a legislative update was given on the recent bills, and some of them which are trending and some of them which recently passed, which affects all of us and the cities. All in all, it was a very nice and learning session. We enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right, outstanding. No, thank you so much for both Commissioner Medina Ashby and Commissioner Wasti for your perspective and update on the Planning Commission Academy. Next announcements, Planning Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just 3 quick announcements. One, I would to follow up on the previous comments by Commissioner Awasthi. The commission may remember that we have had recently 3 housing projects submitted and recommended for approval under SB 330. The most recent project was at 612 South Main Street with the townhomes by True Life Companies. There was another project by Toll Brothers at 975 Trade Zone, and then the other project by City Ventures on Horat Court. So I would agree that's been that housing streamlining act, or in this case, it's the Housing Crisis Act, I believe is SB 330, has definitely streamlined the process both for city staff and for the applicants. And it's been very effective. Couple of announcements tomorrow. Just a reminder that there's the annual Commissioners Recognition event. It will be held next door at the community center in the auditorium, starting at 6:30 p.m. I know that each of the city's 13 commissions will be recognized individually. So we look forward to having all of you there. Hope that you can attend. I heard today and learned, I believe Liz has put together and the other for the other commissions there, they will all receive business cards. So we'll have new business cards for you as planning commissioners at the event tomorrow. And speaking of Liz, I wanted to thank her, and I'm sure all of you will want to join in thanking her. Today is Administrative Professionals Day, and so we are always very thankful for all of the hard work that Liz does, not only in putting these meetings together and all the preparation that goes into that, but just every day she is such a positive an inspirational person in the planning department. And I literally cried tears of joy when she returned to us earlier this year. So we're very grateful that she's here and want to recognize her for all of the hard work she does. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Planning Director. And then just one correction, the time for tomorrow's, the recognition is actually 6 o'clock.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
and happy Administrative Professionals Day. All right, next item, public forum. Ms. Medina, is there anyone in the public that wishes to make a comment?
There are no speakers in the chamber nor on Zoom.
All right, thank you. All right, next item, public hearing. New Hillside Ordinance, City Planning Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, our one public hearing item for tonight is a new Hillside residence located at 1311 Countryside Court. This is lot 6 within a previously approved development referred to as planned unit development number 68, also known as Countryside Estates. And we have approved, there are 6 lots in that subdivision. We've approved one, well, the commission has approved or recommended approval of one home on that in that subdivision. One was constructed a number of years ago. This is our 3rd one. We're currently reviewing 2 others, and then actually we're reviewing 3 others. So all of those will be coming to the remainder of the other 3 will be coming to you at some future point. But tonight we have lot 6. Staff has been working with the applicant for a number of months on this project. I know there was some issues with the geotech study that was done, and there were some adjustments that were made to the site plan, but we're very happy to bring this forward to you tonight. We have our acting senior planner, Avery Stark, online to present the staff report. So I'll turn the time over to him.
Thank you, Planning Director. Welcome, Mr. Stark.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening. Thank you, Director Thomas, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, and members of the public. As stated, the item before you is a site development permit and a planned unit development amendment to develop a new single-family residence located in the Hillside Combining District at 1331 Countryside Court, also referred to as Lot 6 of this subdivision. Next. The applicant is requesting a site development permit and a plan unit development to construct a roughly 5,234 square foot, 1-story single family residence and 1 detached accessory structure building on a vacant 1.653 acre lot, and slight amendments to the plan unit Planned Unit Development number 68 to include the following changes. One, first, to allow the square footage to increase to 5,234 square feet. The current PUD standard sets that at 500, so a slight increase to 234 square feet. And then some changes to the exterior finishes and design to be more contextual aligned with our current design standards and practices and the evolution of this plan unit development over the course of about 30 years. As I noted, it's located in our single family zoning district within that hillside combining area. And so as a result, the application requires the recommendation from the Planning Commission and approval by the City Council on consent. Next. Here we have a nice aerial image of the project, lot 6 there, kind of highlighted in a little bit of yellow, located in a northeastern portion of the city of Milpitas, again, just west of Bayview Golf Club. And for some context there, up to the top right of your screen, you see lot 2, which this Planning Commission approved sometime a few months ago, which is currently in building permit stage at this point. And then lot 5, as Ms. Director Thomas referred to, as a home that was built in 2018. So as part of Countryside Estate Subdivision, which is a community homeowners association which has been formed, lot 6 is that space there immediately east of the project site. And then to date, as stated, 5 of the 6 other remaining lots are undeveloped within the subdivision. So we're excited to see this new community and small neighborhood come to life here. And as you can also see in this image, we included some 3D imagery of existing homes that have been built there. So the one lot 5 and then across the way at 1000 Country Club to give some context of homes within the area. Next slide. This is just a brief zoning map of the property, as you can see, located in our R16 single family hillside zoning district, with a general plan designation for the surrounding areas also being within that hillside low density. Next. So due to the subject property's location, the project is also required to comply with the development standards in the hillside combining district. And as such, the Planning Commission and the City Council shall consider the following guidelines in its review. And this is inclusive of architectural design, grading, and individual and the design of the landscaping. And staff has determined that the project is completely consistent with the hillside architectural guidelines as demonstrated in Table 4 of your staff report. Thank you, Liz. And so here we see the site plan of the proposed project, which includes a main residence and one detached accessory structure off to the left-hand side, a detached ADU. The front of the residence will face roughly due east towards the dedicated open space, which you can't see here, but is the space that is required to be maintained as open, preserved natural land within this planned unit development. Next slide, please. There we go. So this proposed single-story home on the first floor will be roughly 5,234 square feet in size. The front entrance will be in the middle portion of the residence and will open up into a family living room and kitchen areas, which will then open up out onto an outdoor patio and deck, which would face due west towards the bay. It'll also include a kitchen with a walk-in pantry, laundry and mudroom with access to a 3-car garage, as you see in the bottom left of your screen. The home will have 4 bedrooms, 3 3/4 baths, 1 half bath, and 1 primary suite with a full bathroom. Next slide, please. Here are some of the proposed conceptual renderings of the project with colors and materials of the new residence as seen from the front facade. The project is designed in a modern contemporary style with a variety of exterior materials and finishes that are really meant to enhance and incorporate natural textures and features of the hillside, with a palette of earth tone colors that are meant to help again, incorporate and feel as if this home really sits and is nested into the existing fabric of the neighborhood. We'll have a flat thermoplastic polyfilm roof to help with the potential installation of solar in the future, and also to help remain and keep a short and tight roof line to not go above the 17 feet of the required height within the zoning district. And all the exterior colors and materials are, again, of natural earth tone, creating a nice harmony within the surrounding area. Next slide, please. We added in here just some additional renderings of the project to help the Planning Commission understand a bit of the perspective of this home. So as you see again on the left, we have the detached ADU with a flat pitched roof, and then to the right, the single family home. Again, very important as we worked with the applicant to ensure that the profile of the home did not exceed the required 17 feet, and the location of the home had to be slightly shifted to the west to account for a fault line that was discovered during our geotechnical analysis. So that took a bit of time, but we appreciate the work that the applicant did with our team to be able to still ensure a beautiful design and a beautiful home that is in a safe location away from the fault line. And then that bottom picture there is, if you were kind of roughly looking east, just to illustrate the rear portion of the home as it would look out over the valley into the city of Milpitas. Next. Here's the proposed landscape plan. Further details of all of the plant specimens are on L1 of your project plan set. But just to note that all the proposed landscaping materials are of a low water usage, which is very important within our hillside. Then those species of landscaping meet and are in concurrence with the Hillside Ordinance Resolution number 6066, which talks very specifically about the conservation of water and water usage within the hillside and what types of plant species are best suited to allow for a low and high drought tolerant type of plant. It also has parameters for fire mitigation measures that have a lot to do with the alignment and the placement of trees and shrubs throughout the site. Very important to note that it is of a minimal addition of landscaping to the property. The majority of the site will still remain natural with its existing natural plants and species that are here in the city of Milpitas. There'll be no existing trees to be removed on this site, so everything that is there, other than small shrubs and brushes that will need to be relocated or moved for earthwork, the existing trees will remain on site. Summary of our development standards. This summarizes those standards there that the house and the development project is required to meet. And as you can see on that right-hand column, it does comply with the front setback, rear yard setback, side setbacks. Very importantly, our maximum building height of 1 story or 17 feet is achieved, and that is the requirement when you are west of the crest line. There are 6 parking spaces provided for the number of bedrooms, which is important to meet. And additionally, because this home, unlike the house at lot 1 or lot 2 that are on the east of the crest line, this home has a slightly different set of standards that it needs to adhere to, which is really about conforming to the height to fit within a view shed from the valley floor, still looking up at the home, but that it is of a minimal profile, and that has been achieved here, which is why we're able to say that it complies with all of the regulations. And it is situated on the most relatively flat area of the parcel, which will help in minimizing the grading and amount of earthwork that will need to be done. Next slide, please. A notice was published in the Milpitas Post, posted at City Hall on our website, and also at the Sports Center. 6 postcards were sent to property owners within 300 feet of the project site. 2 signs were also placed on the project site, one at the entrance and one at the entrance to the parcel as you go down the cul-de-sac. To date, no comments have been received either by mail, letter, or email or phone to staff. Next slide, please. The proposed project is categorically exempt from environmental review under the California Quality Act, known as CEQA, in accordance with Section 15303 for the construction of a new structure, and Section 15183. The project is consistent with the community plan, general plan, and zoning. Next slide, please. Thank you. Staff has confirmed that the home meets the requirements and the findings associated with a site development permit as set out in the municipal code. These findings have been discussed in great detail within the staff report and further addressed in the resolution. Again, noting that in addition to the findings of a site development permit, there are also the guidelines that I spoke of before that are important when we consider any new home within the hillside. And then again, we've confirmed that the project meets the findings associated with the PUD amendment. A lot of it has to do with land utilization, some things that are really not applicable to the types of amendments that the applicant is requesting this evening, but nonetheless have still been studied and analyzed to be in conformance with our zoning code. And here we go again, some of the additional findings about public benefit, again, consistent with the Milpitas general plan. And most importantly here, that the project and the proposed changes allowing a slightly greater amount of square footage and a deviation from the original design of the homes from 30 years ago still produces a harmonious home within the surrounding neighborhood and will have no adverse effects on the adjacent or surrounding developments like casting shadows, or view obstructions or loss of privacy from this new development. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission open and close the public hearing, adopt resolution number 23-009, recommending that the City Council approve site development permit number SD 21-0010 and Plan Unit Development Amendment number PA 21-003 to allow the development of a single-family residence in the R1H single-family hillside zoning district, subject to the findings and attached conditions of approval. This concludes my summary of the project. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. In addition, we do have the applicant who may actually be in the audience with you this evening, and his design team are available via Zoom if you have any questions for them as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stark. Does the applicant have anything they'd like to add or have a presentation you'd like to present? That's up to you. Yeah, it's up to you. Okay. All right. Well, if not, I see, did any planning commissioners have any questions? I see Commissioner Awasti, you have your light on.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Is the community, and is it a gated community? No, not gated.
No, it is not a gated community. At this point in time, they have not proposed any gates into either of the two cul-de-sacs on the private streets.
And one more. When it's approved, how long is the building process?
So the second stage, you're absolutely correct, will be the building permit stage. So they will submit to the building department for review of the very technical and detailed drawings for construction that I would estimate take 2 to 3 months, depending on any additional structural comments or engineering comments that are received. From there, they would then begin construction. I don't know exactly when the applicant proposes to break ground. I would leave that to Mike, who I believe is in the audience, or the design team if you have a projected timeline of when you expect to begin construction.
Mic off.
Yeah, I think it's off.
To be on, there's right
Yeah,
now.
I hear
Is that
it.
better?
Yep. Okay.
Thanks. So yeah, understanding that it looked like this was going to get approved, we already asked the design team to start working on structural. So we're trying to get that done as quickly as possible. Hopefully we can get that done. We're hoping to break ground in the next few months.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And my last comment would be a very beautiful home. I would really love to see it when it's done.
Thanks. You're all invited.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Albana, did you have a question?
No, I was going to say thank you so much for the invitation. Lovely home.
All right. Thank you.
But Chair,
go ahead.
I have a question
Yeah.
for Avery.
Okay.
Yes. Mr. Stark, I was wondering, so there are 6 lots. What would happen? Because I know it's a 24 acre. What's going to happen to the rest of the land? Will
So
there be homes?
So, great question. Yes. So the lot 6 that you have here will be eventually developed. The center portion, the required open space, will not ever be allowed to be developed. It will always remain in perpetuity as open space. So required preserved open space there to the east. And then as you move up the hill, you start to see lot 2, 3, and then 4 and 1 will eventually be developed in the future, but no other homes will be developed within the open space.
Nice. Can you kind of explain, there on the, is it a chart, the summary of development standards, where it says the size of the main residence, and it says there it was a hillside and PUD 68 requirement of 6,000 square feet. But in our discussion, there's a 5,000 maximum. That's why we're approving 5,232. Why is the difference? What's that 6 and 5? Is it the same?
Great question again. So the entitlement of the development, the PUD, preceded the hillside ordinance actually by a margin of time. And so at the time that the PUD 68 was approved, they had stipulated some size requirements for the potential homes, which in this case on this lot was 5,000 square feet. And so part of the amendment to the PUD is to articulate that change in size, the increase is allowable within the zoning district. It does continue to conform with the hillside combining district, as the maximum square footage would be 6,000 square feet. So still under that threshold, but the need to change is to reflect in the record that the PUD originally set up a maximum size of 5,000 square feet.
So in reality, the request would be for the changes and an amendment allowing a better architectural design to be approved because of the old architectural design that we had in the past, right?
Correct. The original intent of the development had some conceptual architectural designs that were prudent of the time, and as 30 years have elapsed, design and architecture has changed, and so has the community of Milpitas. And so in order to solidify those changes from the proposed kind of conceptual designs, the request to amend from the proposed design is being requested as a part of this application. That is correct.
I see. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Chair.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Albana. Any other questions? All right. If there's no other questions, I also see that we also have our Deputy Fire Chief on as well. Oh, Commissioner Awasthi, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I would just like to make a comment. I like the design, everything, and the best thing is that.
Sorry, Commissioner Awasthi, we have, if you want to do the comments, I'm going to do that after we do the public comment. And,
All right,
this is last time for deliberations. I'm just asking for any questions right now.
Oh, no.
So. Does the Deputy Fire Chief Belton, does he have any comments or anything?
No comments, was just making myself available.
Okay.
The hillside area is obviously of something significant to our department and monitoring, so.
All right. Does any of the commissioners have any questions for Fire Chief? No questions. I just had,
Chair.
go ahead.
For the fire chief, is this in the fire zone, or is it considered within that fire belt or something?
I assume you're talking about the WUI area, and that would not be considered a WUI area interface in that specific. We do still concern ourselves about fuel loading, water supply, and access, but those are all reviewed in terms of the normal process for the city. So,
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I had one question, just because, we often don't see the geotechnical report. So just wanted to maybe get your perspective from in regards to the geotechnical report, if there's any concerns on your end, or this pretty much meets all the requirements from your perspective. The questions to, yes.
Either to me or to, I don't know if Avery, if you in your planner start, if you have any comments on that. In this, well, in particular, for projects in the hillside area where there are known seismic issues, we always require a geotechnical report. These are conducted by a specialist hired by the applicant and then peer reviewed by our city staff in the engineering department. So in this case, I am aware that the geotechnical report resulted in changes to the site plan. The proposed house was moved a certain amount of feet, one direction or the other, away from a known fault for safety issues. And then what happens then is, through our review process, the engineering department will review the new location of the house and clear it for development, that it can then come forward to you, Planning Commission. Mr. Stark, I don't know if you have any additional comments on the geotech report and how it was conducted or used in your review of the project.
Thank you, Director Thomas. Yeah, so to answer that, the findings of the geotechnical investigation did support that there was a trace fault line located within the property boundary. And as such, through our engineering department, there's a requirement to be a minimum of 50 feet away from that line. And so the property owner went through quite an extensive process of trenching, identifying that fault line, assuring that the proposed new location, which was to move it to the west, would ensure that the design and construction of the home would not be made detrimental in the event of earth movement or an earthquake. The study analysis found that the proposed pier design for the footings of the foundation along with the slab will be sufficient to ensure that it will be structurally sound in the event of earth movement. Again, this is an analysis that was peer reviewed by the city's geotechnical engineer, and then required as well within the building department building code for when you build within a seismic zone or area. So the report was intended to provide the city with the necessary information that would support the home's construction and design as they move into the building permit stage.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from any commissioners? Commissioner Albana?
Yeah, it seems I have so many questions. I'm sorry.
No, please.
For my knowledge, for my knowledge, Avery, who usually, is it one of our requirements to always require a geotechnical report?
Generally speaking, yes. Within the Hillside Combining District, we always require a geotechnical report. At times, even within the valley floor, we'll still receive a geotechnical report. And then for this instance, because it's the new construction of a single family home, both the Land Development Engineering Department and the Building Department through the Building Code require the completion of that geotechnical report to ensure that the design of the foundation is suitable to meet the earthwork and the location of the home.
Regardless of the size of the home?
Regardless of the size of the home. There are different types of classifications within our hillside, within geological reasons for like considered landslide, for example, or liquefaction zones, and those different types of mapped zones through the engineering department is what sets up the need for the different types of analysis to be done to ensure appropriate design is completed.
Neat. That's very nice, because then we're also concerned about our residents and those who are building, that their lives are safe. So that's very neat. That's very nice. Thank you, Avery.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Chair.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Albana. Any other questions? Okay. If there's no other questions, I'd like to open up the public forum. Ms. Medina, do we have anyone wanting to make a public comment on this item, either in person or on Zoom?
Chair, there are no speaker cards for in-chamber, nor are there any hands up in Zoom.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. Can I get a motion to close the public forum?
Move to close the public forum.
I got a motion from Commissioner Mosen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Vice Chair Ciardella. Roll call vote. Commissioner Mosen.
Aye.
Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Aye.
Commissioner Wasti.
Aye.
Commissioner Albana.
Aye.
Vice Chair Ciardella.
Aye.
Chair Chuan is aye. Public forum is closed. All right. Any other last questions for either planning staff, the fire chief, or the applicant? Okay. If there are none, any comments, deliberations? So I'm going to go back over to Commissioner Wasti. I know you wanted to make a comment earlier, so.
I just wanted to thank you for the wonderful design, and everything was made under the threshold, so it becomes very easy for us. It looks very nice, and we have your invitation also to come and see when it is done. Thank you.
Right. Any other comments? All right. Any other, if there's no other comments, any motions?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, Commissioner Albana, and if we don't mind, can we put the recommendations up there?
I don't know, I take the joy, not only myself, but maybe the rest of you in the commission and the planning, and of course the staff was prepared, that we are joyful when the applicants, are more compliant to what our requirements or limitations are with regards to like meeting the crest line. So how about this particular property, maybe the terrain of it has met that particular crest line requirement that it didn't go up so high. So based on that, and also based on the beautiful amendment to amend for better architectural designs, this will make our city really look good and a beautiful neighborhood. So I therefore recommend adopting this resolution, adopt resolution number 23-009, recommending that the City Council approve the site development permit number SD 21-0010 and planned unit development amendment number PA 21-0003 to allow development of a single-family residence in the R1H single-family residence hillside zoning district, subject to the findings and attached conditions of approval.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Albana. Do we have a second?
Second.
And second from Vice Chair Ciardella. Roll call vote. Commissioner Mosen, Commissioner Medina Ashby,
Aye.
Commissioner Wasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Albana,
Aye.
Vice Chair Ciardella,
Aye.
Chair Chuan is aye. Motion passes. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right. Next item is 9-2. That's going to be an item that's going to continue to the next regular meeting on May 10th, 2023. Next item is new business. There are no new business items. Legalese, any person aggrieved by any final decision of any board, commission, or department head to the city of Milpitas may appeal the decision to the city council by filing written notice of the appeal with the city clerk within 12 calendar days of the date of said decision and paying the required fee. This time limit shall be strictly enforced. Next item, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Adjourn.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Albana. Okay, and do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Vice Chair Ciardella. Roll call vote. Commissioner Mosen.
Aye.
Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Aye.
Commissioner Wasti.
Aye.
Commissioner Albana.
Aye.
Vice Chair Ciardella.
Aye.
Chair Chuan is aye. Meeting is adjourned.